So, last night I took a look at the rank changes planned for 2016, and I was really happy with them. I was like thrilled with them. People can just queue for two roles. You're told what you're playing, and this whole dynamic queue thing, I thought was fantastic. I thought, like, oh wow. So you mean I can queue with just like five other people that are just looking to improve at the game and not have to worry about anyone raging or something like that, and just like actually get good at the game and like create a low stress environment for you and other people just looking to get better, and in a ranked setting, and everything's fine. Normal queue is always going to be suboptimal because there are always going to be, there's always going to be that one guy that just wants to play something really stupid, like, I don't know, AP Nasus mid, or, AP Poppy support, or something really dumb like that. So normal queue isn't really, it doesn't really help you improve as a player because you just, like, learn to abuse, like, the bad things, and all of a sudden your normal MMR is, like, through the roof. But I woke up this morning, and I was like, wait, everyone's complaining about dynamic queue? And I don't think they really understand how League works in general. Okay, let's just like break down what I'm seeing here on Reddit right now, because I feel like if you put it in a different perspective, it becomes a lot more it becomes a lot easier to understand what Riot is trying to accomplish here, and you start to see like why they're making these changes and why they're going to be generally beneficial. They wouldn't be doing this if it was a terrible and ghastly idea. For all the shit people give Riot, their track record on successes versus failures are, it's very on the end of successes. All their changes have been, very strong. Maybe a little bit too strong within the balance side of things, but their general, I guess, like, community features have been, pretty top notch, and they haven't really like failed or screwed up on anything in recent history. So, okay, so the first thing, as an ex-booster, new rank queue is a dream come true for people who participate in this unsportsmanlike behavior. Alright, so you have 5 masters on accounts simultaneously, mentioned that it's easy to do a queue already, but there's still a chance of the enemy team winning because you have a troll or something stupid like that. And so, if you come across, if this goes live, if you come across a party, I'd say about up to Diamond 3, it's a guaranteed loss. For the majority of you who play this game, this is going to be a completely unfun, perhaps unintended byproduct of potentially a good feature if it wasn't so easily exploited. Okay, so, I don't agree. At all. So what's going to happen is, it's going to be 5v5. Like, you're going to get matched up against 5 other people, like 90% of the time. So, like, the argument for this is just completely thrown out the window entirely. Like, it already says we can go over the preseason update, and it says you will most likely be matched up with 5 other people, right? But, okay, sure. Let me just find it real quick for you guys. Approved. Where is it? Okay, so dynamic groups. Here we go. So if you're in a pre-made 5, there's a 95% you'll run into another pre-made 5, and this is going to be based off MMR, which is why I wish they would just bring MMR back and we get rid of these like tiers and shit. But that's just a personal preference. I prefer MMR over tiers. As a diamond player, as a player that can if I actually gave it my all, I think I could reach masters. Very high opinion of myself, but the point stands here that if you're like playing with 5 challenger accounts or like Smurfs, like your MMR is going to rise, and like maybe like 1 or 2 games with the other people are going to be like ridiculously lopsided, and it's generally whatever. But eventually, you're going to run into like the LCS team or like the challenger team, and it's actually going to be like a competitive match. People are only very short-sighted at the moment. They're very short-sighted. They're only seeing like the first 2 weeks or so, and like you have to think about it this way: the first month of ranked is already chaos, just pure chaos anyway. You get Smurfs here, left, right, up, down. nobody's really sure where they're going to place. The fluctuation of your MMR is completely ridiculous, and someone who was Diamond 5 in Season 1 might end up in like Silver 5 because they played like shit. And like they played like shit 2 of the games and didn't manage to get carried, and from there, that they had to climb from Silver 5 to back up the Diamond 5. I've seen it all the time. As a coach, I've seen it all the time. People have come to me saying, "Hey, I don't know what happened. Last season I was Diamond, and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of Gold. Like, can you help me fix my problem?" With them? Absolutely. So things like that, like the chaos in rank is going to happen no matter what you do. But this is a true opportunity to give people who actually want to get better at the game an environment that isn't ranked 5s, right? It's just solo queue, and the anxiety and the pressure of having the burden of like 4 other people who are trying win their promo, win their series, something like that, then trying to climb as fast as possible because they don't have any time. You can just simply remove all that anxiety about being a burden, and you're able to just get better at the game. Like, I don't understand why people don't like dynamic groups. It's like easily one of the best things from this update. And so let's move forward. The HOTS thing is completely irrelevant, I feel. So yeah, it's saying Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard MOBA. They're saying here that nobody liked this, and it was just 5 bans for the top 5%. I think that has strictly to do with player base. Because I don't want to generalize or anything of that sort, but I feel like if you actually look at competitive areas and things like duo queue, you'll find that there's a very well-known example of duo queue being helping someone get to rank 1. This season, in fact, I'm not going to mention names. That's not my place, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who know about a certain server where one player proceeded to duo with someone who had lesser MMR to gain MMR at a much more rapid rate, and had a much created a huge win streak because of the skill disproportion between players, and managed to get rank 1 because of it. One thing, I'm not gonna mention names. I know, I'm sure if you paid any attention to the subreddit here, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And I feel like generally, with if the players, if this is going to happen, I honestly don't think it'll happen. Simply because if one group of players tries really hard to just get in there, and then another group will be like, okay, we can beat these guys, no problem. Let's queue up together, and then it'll build itself. This is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build. We're trying to create an environment where people will queue with each other in attempts to get better at the game, to attempts to win, rather than we're trying to eliminate trolls altogether. That's what this goal is, and people need to understand that irrelevant to whatever boosters you might run into. You're going to run into the boosters no matter what. Whatever circle jerking, top 20 is going to happen. I don't think it'll happen because I feel like there are enough players and masters on every server that there will always be competition, and people will get much better through this than they have in the past. The big thing I want to bring up here is once upon a time, about a season and a half ago, I believe it was a season and a half ago at this point, High from Cloud9 was so sick of solo queue toxicity and not being able to get the full practice in that he wanted to create his own individual league. Well, here's the solution for you, High. You get to create your own individual league. You only get to queue up against you get to queue against 5 players. With 5 players that you trust against 5 players that are probably going to be on your skill level. This was a problem that's been existing, and I feel like North America especially will benefit from this greatly. And it's something that people really aren't thinking about right now, right? Like you have to think like, okay, you know, just gonna deal with like the circle jerk at the top 5%. No one's ever going to be good enough for me. And you know, at the end of the day, rank 1 actually means jack shit. Let's be real here. Rank 1 means absolutely nothing. Like, it's okay. It's nice to be like top 20 challenger at the end of the season. But if everyone's trying hard and trying to achieve that thing, it actually means jack shit at the end of the day. Because like, it's always going to be highly contested. You never know who's going to secure it at the end of the season. So you just have to keep trying. You just have to keep pushing yourself. God damn it. 1 second. I am retarded. Okay, it's actually blocking it, so like you don't actually see my Skype. But anyways, let me just turn on do not disturb, and I'll keep ranting about this because I feel like I just don't understand what the basis for the complaints are. This is a wonderful system. This is a new system that will benefit players greatly, simply because most, if not all, the rank anxiety that plagues most players in this game is completely gone. You should not feel bad about losing in rank, and it becomes especially easier to lose in rank because you no longer have to worry about strangers if you don't want to. You're going to be able to find a community of players that are just looking to get better at the game. Using this dynamic system, like, you don't want to play 5s with these people, I get it, like, it doesn't make much sense, because you have to maintain that 5s team, you have to make sure that everyone's available, or as in this situation, you can just interchange everyone, you know, if my top laner is missing, okay, anyone have a top laner that just wants to get better at the game? Yeah, I do, sweet, let's queue up, let's see what happens, and you know, eventually what's going to happen is you're going to find the general skill level through this new system is going to improve everything. It's like, when stress is just thrown out the window. Like, okay, there's still going to be rank anxiety. I think I'm not denying that because, you know, people are going to have their opinions and, you know, feel like they're holding back people and they don't want to queue with people. I understand that. But if you're able to just queue with anyone, if you're like, let's say I'm a jungler in like Gold 3, and you know there's this bot lane that I really liked last game, and I'm like, I just want to win games with them. I want to snowball that bot lane. I could be like, did you like? I could be like, did you like what I did for you guys? They're like, yeah, okay, cool, let's queue up. Awesome, you know, we made a new connection, and everything's going awesome. You know, it's and so what happens is if you use the Dota system, right? The Dota system is if you queue with someone, your MMR is completely different from your solo MMR. What happens there is the amount of time you need to get in to make it like relevant to your elo is far greater in Dota than it would be in League, and that's something you need to understand. That like it's going to be like as long as Riot's MMR fixing things are, you know, relevant enough, you know, and they actually fix things and you know calculate all these differences very well. I don't know the algorithm. I'm not pretending I know the algorithm, but you know, it seems like a very plausible thing if they've been working on it for this long. If they do this, it's going to take like 1 or 2 games rather than the 5 to 7 games it would take in Dota to get to your MMR back. It might even take more in Dota the more I think about it. So, you know, that argument gets thrown out the window entirely. Dynamic queue should be based on what your current MMR and solo queue is. And the big thing here that a lot of people aren't understanding about, like, why the hell do you guys just not play 5s? Well, 5s required a lot of maintenance, and I already covered this briefly before. Like, you need to have everyone on the same page. You need to have set times where everyone's on, and you know, with the dynamic queue, you simply get to mix and match people that you like to play with, and you know, if someone doesn't like the queue, they can just leave. It's literally that simple, and you know, I think people fear change. They fear change a lot, and from what I'm seeing here is they aren't really taking in the whole entire picture here. Riot is trying to create this area where people should feel good about playing ranked and should feel okay about losing. You know, it's very coddling. It's very, very, vicious. It's very excuse me, not vicious. The word would be very. It's very coddling is the thing about it. But like MOBAs already have this ridiculously high skill floor that if you go into ranked after you hit 30, you don't know jack shit. To be completely honest, you were just playing 30s, and and you have to learn from there after spending 30 levels trying to learn the game. So they're trying to show you, Riot is, they're trying to show you that it's okay to be bad. You can find other people to be bad with and gradually get better at the game. You shouldn't feel bad about playing ranked. You shouldn't feel bad about losing. Once again, very coddling. But this is the mentality a lot of players need to to make the push into ranked. I've talked to so many people. Like I don't know. I feel like I just won't ever be good enough. I feel like if I don't get my role, I won't ever be good enough. I only know how to play one role, and that's coming from a one-trick pony. I only play Irelia. So all those arguments I can legitimately prove. All those arguments are completely thrown out the window. When you really break it down, you really understand what's going on in League of Legends. However, it's very hard for you to communicate that to an entire crowd of people. We're talking millions of people. So how do you fix that? If you can't talk to the people about it, you fix the system that it's currently in. And so I just feel all this complaining and all these knee-jerk reactions just don't make any sense whatsoever. I really think that dynamic queue, that role selection, all these things are nothing but good things for the future of League. And they might require some fine-tuning. I'm not saying it's perfect. I would never say it's perfect. I already mentioned my gripe with it. I wish it was just purely based on MMR. I hate the idea of promos. I despise the idea of promos. They do nothing but infuriate players. And it's cute like the first 5 times where you get to play a minigame, but then you just look at your promos like, I don't want to do this. But really, it's just based off MMR. But you don't see the MMR, so you have no idea if you're like close enough to just jump a division after your promo or not. And it becomes a lot more tedious. And that's just simply my opinion of divisions versus MMR. Simply because I'm higher ranked, and it's nothing but a chore and a grind. When my play skill will fluctuate vastly because I'm trying to practice a new champion, I'm trying to get a new champion into my pool, or I'm just spamming my best champion all the way up the ladder. I hope through this people will understand what I'm trying to get at with and understand what Riot is trying to do here. I'm sure there are like 20,000 more things I could talk about and why I like this new system, but a lot of people need to understand despite what the first few weeks or what the knee-jerk reaction will be, there's a possibility for like several great things to happen from this change, and I really want people to appreciate it. Thank you guys very much, and oh my god, I've been on my Hearthstone thing for the past 5 minutes. Shit. Well, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.